Assalamu alaykum everybody, I hope you're all doing very well. And yeah, this is part 2 of my new series about how to pray. So yeah, if you haven't watched the first part, please go do so now. And today we'll be covering purity, wudu and ghusl and that. So basically, in order for your prayers to be accepted, we must do them in the state of purity. So, you know, the prayers that I talked about in the last video, they can be accepted or they can be not accepted. And there are conditions for that. So you need to be ritually pure in order for your prayers to be accepted. So there's two types of purity. There's wudu and ghusl, okay? It's not wuzu. Don't say wuzu with a Z. a lot of people like to say it like that, but no, it's wudu or wudu and then ghusl, all right? I'll go over what these are in a moment. But yeah, in order to achieve these states of purity, we must wash ourselves in a specific order. We know what the order is from sayings by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We know from the hadiths. If you don't know, hadiths are basically things that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, and people just write it down basically. People narrate it and they say he said this, he said that, and that's where we get a lot of Islam from things he told us to do. And yeah, these states of purity, wudu and ghusl, can also be broken by specific bodily actions, and I will go over that in a moment. So yeah, information about wudu. So wudu is an action and a state of purity. You can do wudu and you can have wudu. Yeah, the wudu will be the one you do more often, and that's because all of these things basically break your wudu, which means if you do one of these, you will no longer have wudu. So that's urination, peeing, defecation, pooping, flatulence, farting, I don't know where I'm getting these scientific words from, touching your genitals too, becoming unconscious or sleeping, and the release of precum. In Arabic, this is called mehdi. So basically, anything that comes from your private parts that isn't actual ejaculatory fluid. I will talk about that later. And yeah, there's also eating camel meat. Most of you obviously won't be eating camel meat anytime soon, especially in the West. We don't have camels here, but it's useful to know. Maybe you'll go to Saudi Arabia someday, I don't know, and you'll have to know about this. But yeah, there's also some things that are debated. So bleeding, for example, or touching the opposite gender. So personally, if I bleed, I tend to just wash it off and make wudu to be safe. And yeah, so personally, if I bleed, I just tend to wash it off and make wudu to be safe. And touching the opposite gender, I've not done much research on this, but to be honest, if I have wudu and I touch my wife, I don't make it again, because I think it's okay with your wife. Guys, don't listen to me on this one. Just do your own research, please. But yeah, so again, you must have wudu in order for your prayer to be valid, okay? So you have to make wudu before you pray, unless you haven't done any of these things. So I'll tell you how to make wudu now. I thought there's animations. Come on. All right, whatever. But yeah, how to make wudu. There's a lot of steps to this, so please bear with me and watch this again if you have to. But yeah, first of all, you make the intention, or the niyah, in your head. So make the intention that you're going to make wudu and purify yourself for prayer, for salah. So this is very easy. You just, right before you go and do it, you just say in your head, I'm going to make wudu. And then you say Bismillah. Bismillah, very easy. This is the same thing you do. You say this before eating, you say this before a lot of things. If you're doing wudu in a bathroom, say Bismillah before you enter, because you can't say Allah's name in a bathroom out of respect. This isn't fard, so you don't have to say Bismillah, but it's good to say it, especially if you're in a wudu room and not just in a bathroom. So the first actual step to wudu is washing your hands. So start with the right hand and then the left hand, and make sure you get water between the fingers, and you also wash your wrists too. And then you rinse your mouth. Put water in your mouth with your right hand. You could use both, but just right hand is better if you've got the skill to do that. And then swish it around to ensure the cleanliness. You know, just swish it around your teeth and that, and maybe gargle it too, and then spit it out. And do this 3 times in total. Very easy. You can do it very quickly. Then rinse your nose. Put water in your nose, like as far as you can. Kind of suck it in. Obviously, don't breathe it in, just kind of put some water in your nose and then blow it out. And you gotta do this 3 times. You can use your left hand to remove impurities if needed. So, in general, your left hand is used for impure things. Your nose is kind of one of them. So, in this case, you know, if you got some snot on your nose, just use your left hand to wipe it off. Okay, and then, with both your hands, wash your face. You know, the entire face. Yeah, from the forehead to the chin and from ear to ear, and you gotta do this 3 times.
And if a person is having a beard, he should put his fingers between the beard.
And then, once you've washed your face, you wash the arms. So wash the right arm from the fingertips up to and including the elbow 3 times, and then repeat with the left arm. So just wash your arms 3 times, that's it. And then, with wet hands, wipe from your forehead to the back of your head, and then back to your forehead in one continuous motion. So I'll put up a video of that. And then, with the same wet hands, wipe your ears, so the inside with your index finger, and then the outside with your thumb. You know, just, you know, wipe your ears, basically. And then lastly, wash your feet. So wash the right foot up to the ankle 3 times, and then repeat with the left. Ensure the water reaches between the toes, and that it reaches on the bottom of your feet, okay? Your whole foot should be wet. So that's how you do it. I know it's a lot to remember. I know it seems really hard to do all of this before every prayer, but I mean, it doesn't just seem hard, it kind of is hard. You know, all of these steps, it took me a while to learn them. It's a lot, and the first few times when I was learning, I learned from a book actually, so I'd just have it next to me while I tried to memorize the steps. You know, sometimes I'd splash on the book, it's hard, but that's the struggle and the jihad we need to overcome in life in order to become the best versions of ourselves, and in order to reach Jannah or heaven. You know, we need to do sacrifices and work hard, you know. Billions have done this across over 1400 years, so inshallah we can do it too. And I pray that Allah will make following this deen, this religion, easy for us, and that He will keep us away from sin, alright? And here's a fun fact. Whenever you make wudu, every drop of water on your hands and on you gets some of your sins forgiven. You're basically washing your sins off. So please do this very often, especially before prayer. But alright, now information about ghusl, okay? Once you get wudu down, you gotta figure out ghusl, okay? So ghusl is an action and a state of purity. You probably won't have to do ghusl as often as you make wudu, especially if you don't have a wife, if you're not doing haram stuff, if you know what I mean. So you won't need to make ghusl very often, but of course it's important to know how to do it. So when to do ghusl? Whenever you have sexual activity that causes ejaculation. So this includes masturbation, okay? If you don't ejaculate, you only need wudu. You just need to clean off the fluids, right? So people are asking, well, how do you masturbate without needing ghusl? You know, people goon so long they got prayer between, and oh my god. Okay. Anyways, if you ejaculate, you need to make ghusl, okay? Otherwise you can't pray. And then there's childbirth. A lot of us won't be giving birth anytime soon. I'm sure I probably won't be. Oops. Okay. Yeah, okay, and next thing, on your period, you don't have a ghusl, okay? So, on your period, actually, you don't need to pray at all. So yeah, during your period, you'll be ritually impure until the end. And then, once you've finished your period, in order for your prayers to be valid, you need to make a ghusl, okay? Yeah, so you must have ghusl and wudu for your prayer to be valid. Your prayers won't be valid if you are in a major state of impurity, okay? Here's another thing. If you make ghusl, you won't need to make wudu because you will have wudu. So there's also sunnah ghusl. So it's ghusl that you don't have to do, but it's good to do it in some cases. So before Friday prayer or before Eid prayer and before Hajj, it's recommended to do ghusl even if you haven't done any of these things. But alright, how to make ghusl? This is simpler than wudu, I would say. Firstly, you need to make the intention in your head again. Say in your mind, I'm gonna make ghusl now. Say Bismillah, very easy. And yeah, you gotta say this before entering the bathroom. You don't have to say it at all, actually. You can not say it, but if you want the extra reward, just say it before entering the bathroom. Or if you forget, I just say it in my head. I don't know if that counts. But yeah, wash your hands 3 times, wash your private parts, and then perform wudu as described earlier. Except, you know, don't wash your feet until the very end. So, step 7. And you don't need to make wudu. If you don't know how to do it yet, it's okay, just do everything but that. But yeah, wash your entire body so that all of your skin and your hair gets wet. You have to do this for your ghusl to be valid. So have a whole shower, a whole bath, make sure all of your hair and all of your skin gets wet. And then finally, wash your feet. Important, wudu during ghusl isn't fard. Like I said, it's not obligatory, but rinsing your mouth and your nose is. So, you know, you don't need to make all of wudu, but do rinse your mouth and do rinse your nose. So if you're ever low on time or you haven't learnt wudu yet, just make sure that you do rinse your mouth and your nostrils. These two are very important. And yeah, for ghusl, just use water, okay? Don't use soap, don't use shampoo yet until you finished ghusl. So I don't know for sure if ghusl is valid with soapy water, so I would just avoid it. Like, this is what I usually do, right? I just make a ghusl with just water while the bath's filling up or while the shower's going or whatever. And then, you know, once I've finished ghusl, I'm all wet, I'm all rinsed. And after that, I can do my soap, I can do my Dr. Squatch, I can do my shampoo, etc. But alright, anything else? Yeah, Istinja, this is also very important. This needs to be talked about more actually, because I don't see many people talking about it. And yeah, this is very simple. Every time you pee and you poo, use your left hand and wash your private part with water. If you can't use water, use some toilet paper. In this case, it would not be called Istinja, it's called istijmar. Both work, but Istinja is better. So I'll be honest, I just wipe my butt. I don't wash it with water. I've not got into that habit yet. But I do wash my, you know, I do wash my private parts. If I'm in a public bathroom where I can't get to a sink, I'll just use toilet paper. That's completely okay. And yeah, I don't know why this isn't normalized in the West, but it's good for your hygiene. You don't want stinky private parts, especially if you are married. Come on, guys. Come on. Do you want to be stinky? Like, no. Just wash your pee-pee, you know, dry it with toilet paper. It's not that hard. If you don't wipe or wash your butt, or wipe/wash your pee, your prayer won't be accepted because you have an impure substance on you, alright? If you've got poo on you, if you've got pee on you, your prayers won't be accepted, okay? It's you know, you've got to do istinja. You've got to have hygiene, okay? Islam, I would say Islam is the most hygienic religion. We wash ourselves like 5 times a day. Whenever we ejaculate, we have an entire shower. We have an entire shower before Friday prayer. And the last thing relates to this. When you pray, make sure that there is no najis or impurity on you. So here are some impure substances: urine, feces, excessive amounts of blood, including menstrual and postnatal bleeding. For the men, this means on the girl's period, and this is after birth. If you've got these bloods on you, then you can't pray. You've got to change your clothes, put them in wash, whatever. Semen and pre-cum. I'm not sure about semen actually, but I know pre-cum is najis. So if you've been getting down to it, if you've been having sexy time, just, you know, make sure you have ghusl and change your pants, bro. Like, seriously. And yeah, anything from pork, pepperoni, whatever, if that's been on you, you gotta wash it off. And yeah, that includes gelatin derived from pigs. And yeah, so it also includes dead animal meat. For those who don't know, in Islam, like roadkill, for example, you're not allowed to eat that, okay? You're not allowed to eat things that already died. And you're also not allowed to eat non-halal slaughtered animal meat. This is considered najis, this is considered impure. Just make sure you're clean before you pray, okay? It's very easy. But yeah, that's everything. I really hope you all enjoyed this. I know it's quite a long video. I'm looking now, 17 minutes. Wow. I'm probably gonna edit it down a bit, but I've just been talking a lot because I'm on some caffeine. But yeah, brothers and sisters, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it hard to learn all of this, just watch it again. You know, if you need to memorize the wudu bit, just watch the wudu bit a few times. And below, I will also link a video that goes over wudu, like in detail, and it gives you an actual tutorial, because with text a lot of people don't learn very well with text. So do check out the video in the description. And yeah, I think that's everything. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.